Roll. All right, first of all, I thank everyone for being here and helping me out with my speech, which is an informational speech. And it's going to be about Narcan. Has anyone ever heard of Narcan? Or know what it is? No?
No.
All right, so this is going to be good. Narcan is a prescription drug that can reverse overdoses caused by drugs that contain opioid. All right? So basically, it's like an antidote. All right. Opioid has a generic name, naloxone, and it was approved in 1971 by the FDA. At that time, only EMTs and emergency rooms had it, all right, to use. As you will find out later, it is now starting to open up a little. A single dose costs about $20, so fairly cheap, not that expensive. Basically what it does is it neutralizes the opioids in the system. It blocks effects the opioids have on the brain. So basically what happens is your brain sends signals to your lungs, which controls breathing. So someone who takes a drug that contains opioid, it slows the breathing down. So if it's taken too much, the breathing will slow until it stops, which is death, of course. So basically what opioid does, or Narcan, what it does, is it blocks the opioid, pushes it out of the way, so that those signals can go from the brain to the lungs to restore breathing. Which usually lasts, well, it can take about 2 to 8 minutes. Once Narcan is administered, between 2 to 8 minutes to restore someone's breathing once it has stopped from an overdose. Narcan does not, however, have any effect on drugs that are non-opioid based, such as cocaine, marijuana, meth. All right, so it has no effect on someone who overdoses on one of those drugs. When administered to a person who's dependent on an opioid-based drug, the person can go through withdrawals. So let's take someone addicted to heroin, which is an opioid-based drug. Once they're given Narcan, they may experience withdrawals, which could be vomiting, shakes. Now, although that may be painful and uncomfortable, it's not dying, so they won't die. All right? Because basically what the Narcan is doing is pushing out the opioids out of their system. Their system is, of course, dependent on it because they're addicted. After receiving Narcan, the individual is recommended to be transported to the hospital by EMS. Now, at this time, they do not have to go. All right, law enforcement or the EMS, EMTs cannot make them go. So if someone is going through an overdose and their breathing has been restored, they do not have to go to the hospital. They can say they can decline and stay where they're at or whatever. So that's at this time. So I know some of you might be saying, what is an opioid? All right, what drugs contain opiates? All right. Heroin, of course, as I mentioned, Demerol, opium, hydrocodone, oxycodone, Vicodin, Oxycontin, and Percocet. So a lot of those drugs are heavily used on the street, and they're real popular right now. So basically, to administer Narcan, let me just pass this little picture around of what it looks like. Basically, to administer it, we have a syringe, and there's a little applicator that's screwed onto the top. All right, and the Narcan or naloxone goes inside, and it's administered through the nose. All right, you give one spray through each nostril, and that completes a single dose. All right, 1 ml per nostril. All right, if the breathing is not restored between 2 to 8 minutes, then you can administer again. So as you can see in the picture, that's what it looks like. The applicator at the top, and a little syringe that's used. So, Narcan is a safe and effective drug, non-addictive, non-toxic, and it's fairly cheap. 15 states today, according to Nick Sabilla of Reason.com, it's an article that he wrote. 15 states today have passed laws addressing Narcan. All right, and our state being one of them, New Jersey. It is being used in Gloucester County, Camden County. As of May, when they started in Camden and in Gloucester County, 2 months, in 2 months' time, it saves 20 people's lives. All right, now I don't know if now I just sparked something in your mind, maybe you remember seeing something on the news, but I saw something on the news a few times, actually. We have police officers who are carrying it in their patrol cars. So when they go to a scene, someone is known to have an overdose or taken
I think it's BIW.
a drug that has opioids in it, they take it out, give them a dosage, and restore their breathing. So it saves lives.